What's up, everybody? Nick Dwyer back for the 10th inning here with another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw Tom Brady in 2009 throw 5 touchdown passes in one quarter in a blowout victory against the Tennessee Titans. We don't have anything from Tom Brady today, but we have some more MLB to talk about. We have the first 500 goal scorer in the NHL, and we have some more Olympic Games to get into. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. And we will start out today in the MLB in 1932, and Jimmy Foxx would win the American League MVP, while Chuck Klein would win the National League MVP. Foxx for the AL, 364 average, 58 home runs, 169 RBIs for the Philadelphia Athletics. And Klein, 348, 38 home runs, 137 RBIs for the Philadelphia Phillies. So two Philadelphia boys won the MVP. Move up to 1957 in the NHL, and Montreal Canadiens' Maurice Richard would become the first NHL player to score his 500th goal in a 3-1 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. Then in 1958, at the season-ending race of the Grand Prix in F1, despite Sterling Moss winning the event, Mike Hawthorne would take the World Drivers' Championship by just 1 point in front of Moss, and this would be his only F1 championship. Now move up to 1960, and we have a pair of debuts in the NBA. They actually faced off against each other. Oscar Robertson and Jerry West made their debuts on opposing teams. Robertson for the Cincinnati Royals, West for the Los Angeles Lakers. Robertson would get the best of West on this day, though, as the Royals defeated the Lakers 140 to 123. 3 years later, stay in the NBA, and we have another debut of a Hall of Famer, this time when Nate Thurmond would make his debut for the San Francisco Warriors, as the Warriors would defeat the Baltimore Bullets 103 to 102. Now let's get into some of the Olympic Games. We will start in 1964. In the women's 80-meter hurdles, Germany's Karen Bowser and Teresa Siepli of Poland would both record 10.5 seconds. However, Bowser would be awarded the gold medal. Stay in track, this time in the women's 200-meter, American Edith McGuire would run an Olympic record 23 seconds to take home the gold medal. Finally, in those games in the discus, Tamara Press of the Soviet Union would win the women's discus with an Olympic record 57.27 meters, her first of 2 gold medals at those games. 2 years later, we go back to the NHL in 1966, and Bobby Orr, playing for the Boston Bruins, would make his NHL regular season debut against the Detroit Red Wings. 1 year later, in 1967, we have a world record in the long jump when Igor Terovansayan of the USSR would set the world record at 27 feet 4 3/4 inches, or 8.35 meters, and this would be held for 1 year until 1968 when Bob Beamon would set the record. Now we go back to the Olympics in 1968, and we will start out in rowing, and the West German crew would beat Australia by just 0.9 seconds to win the men's 8 rowing gold at those games. Move over to swimming in those games, and in the women's 100-meter freestyle, American Jan Henney in 1 minute would lead the American sweep at those games, with teammates Susan Peterson winning silver and Linda Gustafsson winning bronze. Stay in swimming in those games, and in the men's 100-meter freestyle, Australian Michael Wendon would set the world record 52.2 seconds to take home the gold medal. Move up 1 year now to 1969, move back to F1, and Jackie Stewart would finish 4th in the season-ending Mexican Grand Prix to win his first F1 World Drivers' Championship of 3 overall. Move to tennis now in 1974, and Yvonne Goolagong would win her first WTA Tour Championship, defeating Chris Evert 6-3, 6-4 in the final. Now we jump all the way up to the 2000s in Major League Baseball, start in 2008, and behind the solid pitching performance of starter Matt Garza, the Rays would end up defeating the defending world champions 3-1 in Game 7 of the ALCS to win their first American League pennant, move on to their first World Series in Major League history. And we'll end today's video off in 2019 in Major League Baseball. In front of a sellout crowd at Minute Maid Park, the Astros would win the American League pennant when Jose Altuve would take Aroldis Chapman deep in the bottom of the 9th inning, giving the team a walk-off 6-4 victory over the Yankees. So there you have it. That's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize. But I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nick Dwyer and the 10th inning.